and yeah, that's the reason I love the stage and I love to speak, is because you put people in a room, they all hear a message together, they feel personally encouraged. They also feel like they aren't great for just being there. They're great for how they contribute, because telling someone they're great when they've done nothing doesn't help anyone. And then we see where it goes. I think one of the worst things a leader can do is care so much about every individual person that they ignore the fact that there's a toxic person here we're hanging on to who's not performing, and the rest of the team's losing sleep and not getting to spend time with their family because they're trying to make up for this performer. Like, my view is pain is good. It's not something that we want to alleviate until the reason for the pain is actually gone. And sometimes people need to hear, like, yes, this is not good news for you. You haven't done what we need you to do. Maybe you don't have the capabilities. Maybe you do. That doesn't make you not an incredibly important, infinitely valuable human being, but it does make you not a fit for this. And the way that you can maybe change is by changing your performance, changing your role. And the pain that they're feeling at that moment is a good thing. They're in a spot that they're not actually able to excel. And when you can't excel, you're not ultimately going to thrive. Yeah, the term leader is a funny one. And as a kid in the millennial generation, we were told we were all leaders. If you want to lead, well, you're not a leader if people aren't following. I think that's the simple answer. And I'm particularly focused on senior leadership teams and the executive team. And the reason for that is because that is the central driver of the output of the rest of the organization. I have a dear friend and owner of a large business that has said to me that you never have an employee problem, you have a leadership problem. And so when I say leader, I'm talking about those who they have a cascading impact. Their decisions don't just impact them, they impact many, many people and the future of organizations. And I think I kind of straddle this unique line where I actually believe that thriving and how people are doing emotionally, how they're doing relationally, that matters. But I'm not interested in that being the thing that replaces performance, productivity, growth, building, because I fundamentally believe what the world needs is builders. We need to build and grow. Big problems don't get solved by everyone sitting in a room and singing Kumbaya. Like, that's just not how it works. And so the bottom line matters. Profitability matters, because if you aren't profitable, then there's no providing for families if you aren't profitable. We really have two options today when it comes to how do we think about growth, and personal growth, organizational growth, team growth. And one is that we think of it as individual skills that we accumulate, individual insights, that we're in the insight accumulation business. That the reason you're not a good leader is because you don't know the different generations. It's because you haven't taken a Dale Carnegie training course, like whatever it is. And I think that's a really great model for everyone exhausting themselves and not feeling like they're accomplishing much of anything. Because it's in fact, the goals often are contrary. Like, you have to be decisive to be a great leader, and also delegate, right? This is absurd. And so I think the alternative is much more human and much more reliable for navigating uncertainty and change. And that's that you zoom in on the single trait that will define how information that you need in the context you're in actually gets to you, and how you actually get real information rather than filtered. And that's a posture of curiosity. That curiosity says that I'm not afraid, that I'm interested in you, that you, with your different experiences, have something that you see in the world differently that I can learn from. Curiosity isn't afraid to ask a question. It also means you don't come into a meeting with an outcome that you're just needing to convince people of. You come into a meeting saying, like, there's things to be learned, there's insights to be gained, and it's out of the accumulation of that we'll be able to arrive at a better solution. There is nothing worse than a leader that has a closed-off posture, an ego that demands that their ideas win, and the insecurity that actually drives that. And how do you overcome it? By cultivating curiosity. So you can either accumulate 40 skills every week to make sure that you're able to deploy that in the individual situation, or you can say, I'm building my entire leadership approach on curiosity, because I know that by being curious, all the rest of the things that I need to know in order to make good decisions are likely to get to me faster.